Italian motorcycles are truly unique, and though it's a bit unfair to bunch every single Italian motorcycle and every Italian motorcycle company into one stereotype in one video, yeah, we're still gonna do it. Because there are some unique aspects to Italian motorcycles, I guess we could call them trends, that I've seen in most of the bikes coming from the good old Italian Republic. Some of the things we're gonna talk about could be used as reasons to get an Italian motorcycle, and some might be used to do the opposite, to make you not want an Italian motorcycle, and others are just weird and random. So here are 5 weird things about Italian motorcycles. The first one is the color red. Now there's not one color that defines a motorcycle from regions. For example, British bikes can really be any color, Japanese bikes can be any color, Austrian bikes are orange. But Italian motorcycles are often red, red, and more red. Why is this? Well, despite being focused primarily on making motorcycles of the future, Italian motorcycle companies have a unique focus on the past, and the color red simply is a massive part of the history of many of these motorcycles. And again, these bikes often look like they're simply modern machines, but bikes like the Ducati Panigale, the Mv Agusta Super Veloce, the Aprilia Tuono, and obviously things like the Moto Guzzis, like everything made by Moto Guzzi is pretty retro. But yeah, these are motorcycles that are in some way connected to really cool, long, wonderful histories, often of performance and speed. Besides that, I'm not exactly sure why the color red is so prominent and why it was so prominent from the beginning for motorcycles that are from Italy. But yeah, it's definitely there. Now, I could be off on this one as I haven't heard every single Italian motorcycle start from every period of time, and I also haven't heard every single non-Italian motorcycle start, also from the dawn of time, but it seems like Italian motorcycles take a bit longer to start. And I'm not saying that there's some big process to starting, an Italian motorcycle like there is for my old motorcycle. It literally just takes a little bit, like from the period between when you hit the start button and the bike actually fires to life. It seems like it's about twice as long as that of most Japanese motorcycles. Now, Moto Guzzi might actually be the exception to this rule, but it does seem like Aprilias, Mv Agustas, and especially Ducatis take a bit longer to start. And honestly, I have no clue why this is. It makes very little sense to me. Some of these motorcycles are the most advanced bikes in the world with some of the most advanced technology, but when you go to start one, like a Ducati Panigale, it just sounds like they're struggling. I guess this is sort of like Ducati's problem with being able to get their bikes to go into neutral. Now, I'm sure this is way off, but I know Mv Agusta and Ducati rock counter-rotating crankshafts, and maybe it's because of that. Maybe that sort of messes with the timing when you're starting it. That probably makes no sense, but yeah, I don't know. If any of you guys know the answer to why this is, or maybe I'm just completely imagining this, just let me know in the comments below. Now, this one can be attributed to just the way in which Italian motorcycles are actually manufactured and built, especially in comparison to other companies that have massive state-of-the-art factories. But Italian motorcycles are known for being somewhat unreliable, and even deeper than just that, it could be because of their manufacturing process. And really what I'm getting at is something that Fort9 found in his rather limited study performed on engine cleanliness, and basically Italian motorcycles are the worst. Well, almost the worst, behind only the Chinese brand Yinjiang. Brands like Yamaha and Kawasaki, KTM and Royal Enfield, they all build their motorcycles in massive state-of-the-art facilities, massive factories with probably tons of regulations. And though brands like Ducati and even Aprilia have sort of advanced their systems over the last 20 years, brands like Mv Agusta are still making their motorcycles basically one bike at a time. So Italian engineering is advanced, but apparently Italian cleanliness is not. Alright, next we have the naming of motorcycles, and specifically we're looking at the way Italian motorcycle companies actually name their motorcycle models and their sort of ranges and even engines. So things like the Ducati Desmo Sedici and Desmo Stradale, I guess. These are engine-related terms, but they're really cool sounding. The big thing is that they actually have names. It's not like the XR1000RR SRX or whatever. It's just the Ducati Panigale, the Aprilia Tuono, the Mv Agusta Brutale. These are real words, and for some reason it really adds to the sort of iconic nature of these brands and their bikes. It's kind of the same as like Harley. Harley doesn't name their bikes just like the S whatever. It's the Sportster, it's the Dynaglide and Electraglide and whatever else, Knucklehead. The Honda Fireblade is a great example. Nobody cares about the name CBR 1000R or CBR 600RR. Like what? But the Fireblade, now that's a good name. Even the Kawasaki H2R. Why is it called the H2R? That thing should be called the Kawasaki Dracaris or something. Imagine if Honda just named one of their motorcycles the Heisenberg. Well yeah, Italian brands do that kind of thing, and it's pretty awesome. Alright, the last thing on our list is something that I think is pretty cool, and this is one of the main reasons that people are obsessed with Italian motorcycles, and that is the simple fact that they are often more handcrafted. In some cases, as with like the Mv Agusta and Moto Guzzi, they are literally handcrafted, at least to some extent. The factories that are used by Italian motorcycle companies can still be state-of-the-art, they just aren't as big and frankly, probably not as fast at churning out motorcycles. Like I said earlier, Mv Agusta has one person basically building an entire motorcycle often, which is really crazy when you think about it, versus having entire teams dedicated to just one small task in like the assembly line. Now having a motorcycle that is handcrafted is pretty cool in theory, but as we saw with engine cleanliness, it's not always a plus. But it is really something to be proud of. Like, you don't own something that millions of other people have. You know, a Honda is like going into IKEA and buying art. Okay, that picture's cool, you like it, it fits well with your house, but it's not unique. As long as you know that, that's okay. As long as you know you're not buying like actual art. Italian motorcycles are like going into an actual art store. I mean, Mv Agusta's tagline is literally motorcycle art, and I definitely think that tagline could be used of a lot of other Italian manufacturers as well. Well, that does it for this video. Let us know in the comments below if there's anything that we missed, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys like this kind of content. We'll see you in the next one. Ride safe.